morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here for another episode of the Full-Time Investor. I am your host, Mandy Brenham, known as the Joint Venture Queen, here to bring you so much value, so much energy. Please, from today's episode, you are going to leave with energy. I want to share that with you today. A little bit of me will go with you. A little bit of you will stay with me. And a little bit of my guest today has inspired me from the first time that I heard who she was, heard her story. I consumed a bunch of her content online. And the first time I met her, Tahani, I know that we already kind of knew each other. We felt like it was just, we were for the first time we were connected. It was at a RAIN meeting, and you were one of the people that I had wanted to connect with and get into your circle and listen to you. So my guest this week is Tahani. Tahani, I'm going to leave your last name up to you to be able to say.
It's okay. I'm like a Madonna or an Oprah. I go by first name. So Tahani is fine.
You are an Oprah. Yes, you are. Yes,
Oprah
you are.
Of real estate. Yes.
Today. Such a lovely honor to have you on my show.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor. I mean, I woke up this morning. Maybe you can hear my voice, maybe not, but all stuffed up. And I'm feeling like, I've got these cold symptoms. But I'm going to beat them. And here I am at the show. I will give you my all, and I will answer any questions the ladies have.
Oh, my gosh. And you know what, ladies, it is. So a little bit about you is that you have started, a movement, I want to say, in the GTA, in Canada. You're going on a platform here that's larger than yourself. FIRE, Females in Real Estate. Tell us a little bit about where that came from and what's your vision for FIRE?
Yes, that's amazing. Actually, that all came because I have two brothers. I have 6 brothers first, and 2 of them had massive heart attacks within months of each other when they were around 42 years old. One of them was, and the other one was 44. And it almost dawned on me how life is so precious and can actually slip out of our hands so fast and almost with no notice. First of all, my brothers are good right now. Thank God. They're both are okay. They survived. One of them was in a coma for almost a month. We didn't even think that he was going to come back. He came back. He survived, and he's all good. But after that, it got me thinking, what legacy? What is one thing that if I die tomorrow, I can leave this earth with, knowing that I've done my own job here, being on this earth? And that's when I start thinking more and more and more, even though in the marketing world, you already know this, Mandy. They say market to those that come to you. If you're already getting, say men or women or whatever the audience is, just market to those people more, because there's going to be more of them. And for me, it was always men that would come to me and ask for my help of how I can structure their deals. Like, Tahani, here is our puzzle, and what can I do to move some parts to make more money and leverage my money?
Okay.
And I've done that. I would say maybe 9 out of 10 or 90 out of 100, maybe even actually more than that. It was men to women, like my clients. And then after my brothers and what happened to them, I've decided, you know what? It's time for me to come back to my sisters. And this is the work of impact. This is the legacy that I wanted to leave on this earth. I want to share with them what information I've got to take my life from having no money to right now, where I'm at right now, which is, doing development, getting I'm working with deals that are in the 10 million and up, so that's what I wanted. And I get not all women want that. I get that. But what I would like is to inspire at least, the mission of FIRE is to inspire at least 10,000 women by 2025 to buy minimum 1 property. So that's what the FIRE is for about. So it is a movement.
It is a movement. Absolutely. Females in Real Estate, FIRE. I've been promoting it all around.
Thank you. And you're coming, and I'm so happy to have you. And I can't wait to share you also with the ladies.
Absolutely. Now, I want to hear a little bit, we titled the show today, Overcoming Adversity, because as much as you are this beautiful one-named superstar in front of us, you've earned your stripes. You have been where you were and have grown. So talk a little bit about your overcoming adversity. Where did your story begin to be able to say that you're here right now with a vision and a legacy?
Yes. So my story started when I was 15 years old, just a normal day coming home from school, just like a young girl. And I was born in a refugee camp, for those that are listening, to coming home and finding there's music. I could hear music in my home and people talking and everything. I walk in and all I hear is congratulations. And I'm like, for what? What did I do? I was so surprised. Like, what's happening here? What is this commotion about? What is this party about? And it happened to be that it was actually my marriage.
Okay.
My parents married me off to a man who lived in Canada at age 15. And I look back and say, that is harsh. Like, when you think about it, you think, how could a parent do that? But it is not, because of many things. First of all, my daddy knew that I loved schooling, and I am a big believer in education, and I will continue to learn until the day I die. It's not just like, it stops at school. And then he knew he couldn't afford to send me to school. So he thought that maybe if I married this man who lived in Canada, that would be my chance to maybe go to school. So it comes from a place of love.
Yeah.
And then I came to Canada. I was married for 22 years.
Wow.
And after 22 years of marriage, I've decided that, it's no longer going to work. And it wasn't because of me, because if it was about me, I would have continued in that marriage. It's because of my kids that I've said, you know what, enough is enough. I got to take these kids if they choose to come with me, and, I'm going to start a new life. And they did, of course. And I started from zero, like not even $1 in my pocket, nothing. And I ended up buying my First of all, I didn't have any money. It happened to be at the time, Mandy, that there was no money down payment. Do you remember those days or not?
Yeah, no, that was a little bit before me getting an awareness of real estate.
Yeah, so that's early the 2000s. And I at the time I was at the bank, and the bank manager called me because I was trying to open my own account, separate account. And he's like, Tahani, here, come in my office. I'll teach you how to, do these things online. And I did. And then I started crying. And he's like, what's going on? I said, this is because he also knew my ex. And I said, we just separated and I don't know where to go. I've been looking for apartment buildings. They're all smelly and not good and all of that stuff. And I just don't know what to do. And he's like, you know what? Let me try and help you out here. And he did, actually, and I was able to get a mortgage at the time.
Yep.
And my mortgage was close to about 220 at the time. And I was a realtor then.
Okay.
And I didn't think I could even pay that, man. I remember going inside the house when I got the keys. It was empty, nothing inside the house. And I start bawling, bawling out. And at the time also, another brother of mine, I know God blessed me with many brothers, just passed away at 57. So it was so much emotions going on. And I thought like the whole world is like, it's almost like conspiring against me or something like that, And I start bawling and all these emotions, in an empty house on the floor. But then I realized, what the hell am I doing sitting here and crying? This is not going to get me anywhere. I'm so friggin' blessed. I'm in Canada. I get to work. I get to go out. I've got hands. I've got eyes. I've got ears. I'm all good. I'm all perfect. So I came from a place of gratitude. I came from a place of plenty that I've got lots here to thank for. And I picked up the phone and I dialed and I sponsored another kid at that time. And that's number one thing that I want the ladies that are listening to realize, is that you have to come from a place of gratitude, of, whatever you are right now, it's still amazing where you're at right now in your life. No matter how bad you think you've got it, someone else, somewhere else has it worse.
Wow. Let's just sit on that one for a moment, because there's a lot of pity parties. There's a lot of poor me's. There's a lot of, I wish I could. You know what? A great friend of both of ours, Jill, is watching right now,
I
and
love
we
Jill. I love Jill. Jill and
talk
my
about
daughter and
that.
I, not just only me, my daughter loves Jill too.
Yep, yep. And you know what? There's you work harder on yourself than you have on your job. And that is something I say often, to be able to say, you know, you had people that supported you, but yet you rose above the potential of things that could have brought you down, or, you know, excuses that could have kept you where you were, or poor me, and you just kept growing. So what was next? Like, there you are, you're in your first house, but that's not the story that has created you to be who you
No. The amazing thing is that when I moved into that house, I did not even know whether I can make even my own payments. Like, I did not know that I could actually make my own payments. It was so scary having the responsibility, you know, of like right now, not only I have to take care of myself, but I have to take care also of my two kids. But I took that, what maybe people might see it as a negative, and I went out and I start talking to developers and builders and people that want to buy and sell. And I would say to them, look, you know what, let me help you with whatever your needs are in the real estate world. And then this way, just know that you are helping me and my kids. And that connected with people. It connected because people want to just help other people. Like, people are so helpful. Like, there's so many amazing people out there, but they just don't want another real estate agent knocking on your door saying, do you want to buy and sell? It does not connect. So people connected with the cause. Is like, you look, I need to do this. And the other also, I think that's very, very important to really point out is that I became so focused and so obsessed with making it work that if somebody says, oh, this is not going to work, I would just shut them out.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to listen to that. I don't want to listen to negativity. I'm going to go and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make this work for me and my two kids. And I became so obsessed with, you know, helping others. And when others saw that, they helped me in return. And happy to say that after 4.5 years, because you know how we take 5-year term mortgages?
Yes.
After 4.5 years, Mandy, I was able to pay off my full mortgage, and had 9 other properties.
In 4.5 years.
In 4.5 years, while raising 2 kids, while picking up the garbage almost close to midnight, putting it on the street, while going shopping, while taking my kids to, you know, sports and all of that. It just becomes where I had no life, as in, like, you know, partying and going out. I just became very, very focused at right now putting a shelter and a roof on top of my kids and providing for them. That's what I came focused with. And then in turn, it brought a lot of goodness towards me. And I could not believe it. I remember going back to Mark, the bank manager, and he gave me a piece of paper. And on the paper, it says, right, your like the amount of money that I had. And I wish I kept that piece of paper. And it says I was one of the top, actually, excuse me. I was one of the top wealthy people in Canada. Like, I think it was like, it was a sheet of paper that says how much you have, you know, and I could not believe at the time. I could not. I actually, again, sat on the floor and started crying again, because it's like knowing 4.5 years ago where I was and then where I'm at right now, it was just like day and night. But that's the power of focus. And that's the power of tying your goals to something that's larger than you are. You cannot be thinking, yeah, exactly.
Round of applause.
It's not
to help the many, for service to many leads to greatness. You weren't saying, hey, I want to be rich. Please
never.
Rich. You were sharing with people and getting them to buy into your vision, but your vision included more than just yourself.
Because people connected with women helping, you know, because of their kids. People connected that I was actually willing to do whatever it takes to help them. So they believed in the cause. They believed that I was the one that I was going to do it. One of the, I was selling a small development for a builder. And I kept going back to the builder and I would take an offer as a realtor. And I would say, George, I see my name on this big development right here. You know, I'm going to be selling this development for you. And he's like, Tahani, no, can't do that. I already have somebody. I would come back with another offer and I say, George, I've got this. My name, I see it on the sign. Tahani, for God's sake, my wife is a realtor. I can't fire my wife. But George, I can make you and your wife very, very wealthy. Finally, after many offers, he gave me the developments. I sold roughly about 52 houses for him in about 2.5 months. He freaked out. And his wife had the whole development for over a year, and she only, I think, sold 1 or 2 houses.
How do you keep your vision so strong? How do you keep your goals? And what's kept you on track? There's a lot of things in this world that can pull you off or discourage you, or you sit down on the ground and cry and you don't get back up.
Yeah, you can't be thinking about what's missing. You cannot be thinking, oh, you know what? I wish I have a rich husband. I wish my dad was wealthy and he left me money. I wish that the economy is better. I wish that, I have a better job, or maybe you cannot be thinking about what you don't have. You have to really switch your mindset to what you can do right now to get you to the next level, Mandy.
Oh, I've had Angie Pentagon, she said she's having chills. Somebody else said they're having chills. I'm having chills listening to your story. You're right. You don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. The only person you can work on is you.
You. And once you realize that, that's where the power and the focus starts happening in your life. Another thing I wanted to also say, and I have actually even a small course that I made up, is that, if you chase money, you'll never be wealthy. Okay. It is never about money. I know that that's what the end result people want, but if you concentrate more about helping others, or whether it's your kids, or whether it's maybe the tribe that you are part of, or the community, or the clients, then all of a sudden you automatically get helped, and you automatically it's always gonna turn back at you. So it's very important that you think of what value you can add to others, and once you start adding that value, then things will start coming back to you. And that's how actually, even with anything and everything, even later on in my life, it all organically came about. I never said I want to become a millionaire and then I became one. I never said I wanted to become a multi-millionaire and I became one. I never said I want to have 39 doors at one point and I got 39 doors at one point. So everything, it became it's almost like a byproduct of what you give and what you offer others, that more will come back to you.
What is some of the mentors you've had along the way, or coaches, or how have you become the Tahani that you have been, other than this phenomenal internal growth?
It's funny because the other day I actually posted a post on my Females in Real Estate website asking for volunteers, right? And I got a lot of ladies that actually willing to volunteer, but that's how I did it. I volunteered at some really amazing events. Part of them was like the Tony Robbins, the Harv Eker, and I couldn't afford at the time, to pay for those. So I volunteered for them. That's a good way to get in. And then you start surrounding yourself with amazing people. Once you do, then they automatically will impact you, and they will influence you, and then you become, oh my gosh, if Mandy can do it, so can I. If Jill can do it, so can I. And then all of a sudden you start believing that you too can do this, and then it will raise you up as well. That's part of the most amazing thing about the FIRE community that I'm creating, is that I want these women to come and be part of this community, so that even you, Mandy, one day to say, you know what, I want to start real estate development. Hell yeah, you know what, I want to do this. And then you'll find others, or maybe just only your first property, and you'll find others, and then together we lift each other. Community and the right people that are around you, instead of putting negative things, it almost you go, oh wow, she can do it, so can I.
I know that on your Facebook group one time, this lady had posted a question, and you could see the wealth of options and ideas that was being shared through the group. And her comment at the end was just I had no idea. And so, out of one question to a group of like-minded individuals, you are able to start to know what you don't know, and you can take better action because of it. So, here's this lady that had options that she thought she was against a wall on. And, this is a Facebook community. So
yes. And that's part of the fire conference, is that I want to educate women on what to ask, because they don't know, and I don't want nobody taking advantage of them. It's funny, if I may share this small short story, Mandy, is that I know I am on the right path. It might take longer for this maybe to grow huge. And by the way, I've got women right now coming from BC, from Nova Scotia, from New York. Right now we have women coming from New York to the fire conference this year on November 23rd. But what I wanted to share, or the story I wanted to share, is that just about 2 months ago, there is this older lady that went to sell her house, and a realtor told her that her house was worth $300,000. She doesn't know how to maybe even how did he come up with that number. She doesn't even know what to ask. She doesn't even know with any of those things. He did sell her house to his in-laws for $300,000 because they looking for a property in this area. And then she sent the information to her lawyer. The lawyer goes, this is not normal, because in this area there's no houses for 300. This is a single family, double car garage, raised bungalow, like really stunning. And he called her daughter, who lived far away, and he brought her in and said, something is going on here. It doesn't seem right. Can you come down and help your mom? She came down, got more CMAs, market evaluation on the property, to know what the price is, to find out that the house was worth over $700,000. So that, Mandy, that story, instead of feeling, oh gosh, it is sad, it is very, very sad, but it is more of a reason why the fire conference is so important to bring awareness to, how do you know the price is good? How do you know the partner that I want in Mandy is the right partner for me? How do I know? It's all about learning how to ask, the right questions to get the right answers and become the smart, responsible person for your finances.
I said that to a partner the other day because he was kind of beating around the bush, and I was like, look, at the quality of your questions are going to have the quality of the answers that you get. You're going to ask shitty questions, you're going to get shitty responses. And I was really just trying to evoke out of him that if he wanted a good response, he needed to ask me a better question. So I love that. Tell us a little bit about the fire conference, because I know that's coming up. I know I have VIP tickets. I know I got in at the early bird price, but you just share a little bit of details of that.
It's November 23rd at the Weston Harbor Hotel. And for anyone that's listening, it is early bird ticketing expires this Sunday, actually, Sunday the 10th, midnight. So for anyone that wants to get in with that, discounted price, they can go ahead before. Like I said, there's women flying in from all over Canada and few in from the US. We have incredible lineup of speakers. I actually want to talk about this. None of the women, including you, said, who is the speakers at this conference? Not like other conferences where they bring in a famous speaker and you're only going to see that speaker. Here, it's all about community. Here, it's about real women like you trying to provide real value for other women. So this is the beauty about this fire conference. I love how this is growing to be an incredible community helping each other. So we have, we're going to be sharing a few strategies depending on what the ladies want. So the intake form will be going out this Saturday, depending on what the women want. If they want a lot of JV, partnership, guess who's going to be coming to talk about it? Exactly. If they want to learn about, pre-construction or condos versus, single family. If they want to learn about how to leverage their home equity, like their line of credit and their houses. If they want to learn about commercial, multifamily, development, whatever it is, I have few in the intake form, I've got a few, strategies that I'm asking the woman, what do you want? And I'm going to serve it to them. That's what it's all about. And plus a whole lot of interactive sessions. And there's going to be a big surprise. I'm not going to yet say it. I'm actually so tempted to say it because it's very good for marketing, but I'm just like, maybe not. Maybe it's like, again, the Oprah of real estate. Remember, it's like those big giveaways. You get a card and it's not going to be a card, but it's going to be something even better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh, I was just gonna say something. Now I forget. But I'm looking forward to the event. I like that there is going to be a plethora of it. This is what I was going to say, that there is the largest transition of wealth within a family, dynamics, the legacy, that for the first time, a female is going to be able to accept that. It doesn't have to go to the first son in line. And so this empowerment of what are we going to do with the generational wealth transition, you're educating a group of women that are going to come into so much wealth that we're now going to be able to know what to do with it. What does that look like? How can we transition that on to other generations?
Yes. And even more so, we're going to be covering some information about co-investing. If you are a woman that only have a little bit of money, what do you do with that, and still while you're growing it? It's going to be about generational wealth, and it's going to be also about legacy. Like, I don't know if you have a trust fund yet for your family. So we're going to have somebody that's going to talk about also so it's going to be good for the newbies, but there's also goodness for also the seasoned ones that want to learn more and take their life to the next level. So as well, for anyone that's listening to this, they can join our Facebook group. There is a Facebook group that's called Females in Real Estate Facebook group. It's by invite only, but if they ask to join, then we'll, have them, join in, especially if they say Mandy.
There, Larry's put it on there. That's where you go there.
Yes, exactly. And that's, again, it's going to be information. They get to ask a question. And like, if somebody asks a question, somebody else will answer it. I will answer, and so on and so forth. So, and then we've got the Instagram with some giveaways as well for Instagram. Like right now, if you tag a few ladies on Instagram, you get a chance to win 2 free tickets for you and another person. So this is there's a lot of greatness right now happening. We can feel the heat. I can feel the heat. Can you feel the heat?
I can feel the fire.
Yes.
Oh, Tahani, you continue to inspire me.
Thank you.
Every time I hear your story and see your smile. And you know what? The last time we saw each other was at the end of the Archangel conference, and you were there. But what got me was that your children were there. And so if your purpose to start, why you began, they're still beside you. Like that you're living exactly what it is you say why you started, and you're still doing it.
Yes, still. And I will never, it's funny because there was a post that is in Facebook that came up, from say 2010 or 2011. I can't remember what year. And I was on a panel of speakers at the Real Estate Wealth Conference. And almost all of those speakers, except for Don R. Campbell, are gone. They're gone. And I'm here to stay. So this is not just only a hobby. This is my life. This is what I do. I'm living what I'm, teaching and all of this. And for the men that are even listening, because I know you have men and women listening to the podcast, you might say, oh, well, this is not for me. Yes, but I started this because I want to inspire your woman, your daughter, your wife, your girlfriend, you've got women around them, right? I mean, remember, I started helping men, and I've always inspired men to bring their wives to the meetings and to see these, properties and all of that. So I'm just kind of right now, doing the other side and helping the women, so the women can also help the men. And it's not just only, you're like, it's not, the responsibility is not just only on the men's shoulder, but they're both working together to grow their wealth as a team.
I agree. We just had a young gentleman, Reed Marchand, say thanks for the hype. Have a great day. So
Thank you, Reed. Thank you.
You are inspiring both sides. When you say Tahani International, I'm just like, yep, that's her.
Thank you.
I'm getting my wrap up here from my producer, my man in the background, who certainly assists us every day, every time we go live.
Amazing.
So, love my Larry. But yeah, together he allows me to do what I'm great at. I allow him to do what he's great at, and that's why it's the role that we play in each other's.
Yes. You see that? That's amazing. Like, this is exactly it. You and him, Larry and Mandy together is a better team rather than just only one and not the other.
Yes, it takes a team to raise a community, right?
100%.
So thank you so much for being here today, for not feeling well, but you know what? You show up because you are who you are. You just inspire from within. So thank you so much for being my guest on the show today. I thank you all for watching. I know this is going to be one of the top viewed shows that I have. There's Colleen from the Northwest Territories.
Colleen,
and I know that
you gotta come. Colleen, you gotta come.
On a plane, she would. She was just here last weekend. I got to connect with her in person. But so that's the other thing. We kind of create these online communities. So when you actually are able to be like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I know you, and I do, but to be able to physically hug somebody and say hello is
this is amazing, Mandy. What you're doing here is absolutely amazing. I'm a big supporter as well, and together we will help a lot more people. So thank you so much for having me here and for taking the time to share my story and all of this.
Awesome. Well, that's it. Mandy Brenham signing out for another episode of The Full-Time Investor. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Have a great week, everybody.